right, guys. Hey, first of all, I say this all the time, guys. I do appreciate you guys taking the time, energy, and effort for being here and being present on this call. All right. I know there's a lot of distractions, and everyone here has got plenty of work where you could be doing something else. Plenty of work you could be doing something else. But education and getting better matters. So why? I'm going to say this again. We talked about this a little bit last week and this week. Why are you not making enough appointments? Why are you not getting enough traction? Why are you not getting enough engagement? Why are you not making enough money? The reality is you just got to get better, right? Personally, I have failed on doing some of the growth inside my company, this company. I had massive traction, massive scale when it was a single entity, me. I was making more revenue, gross, more profit. And then I took a bet and I tried to scale, which you should do because the only way to protect your company is to grow your company. But I did it without clear direction. Clear direction was here, but did not come here and did not come here. Assumptions, assuming that someone like a Travis or an Albert or a Cameron, by proximity, already had the same thinking as me. That's my mistake. That's a leadership gap. That's a leadership problem. Everything rises and falls with leadership. That was a leadership gap that Aaron had. Okay. And so I don't need to go down with the ship and just like, well, it's broken, let's just let it blow up. No, I can blow it up on my own terms and fix it. Better is better. So inside the walls of your company, you're teaching martial arts class. Where could your martial arts class be better? Some examples. Do you know everybody's name? Okay, Crystal said yesterday she was going to do that with an intent. Do you know everybody's name? Do you know the parents' name? Do you know where they work? Are you actually personable? Do you care? How about what you wear? Are you above the member base and you wear whatever you want to, or you assimilate to the culture that you're educating and teaching people? What about corrections? Are your corrections real corrections? Right? When someone's punching and you're not rotating, they're not hitting with the big knuckles. Are you educating them? Are you just fixing their fists, but they don't know why? They don't attach the skill to the why. A 6-year-old and a 26-year-old, different attachments necessary. Okay. Are you preparing real warriors, not for physical self-defense, but real warriors for the outside world, which is why mom and dad probably put their kid in martial arts. When I taught a class last week with Sarah in Vegas, the kids didn't know how to do backfalls properly. And it's probably one of the number one self-defense techniques you could teach someone is how to fall properly, because it's highly likely that they're going to slip and fall at some point in their life. And then in the self-defense practication, they probably have never role played in the drills that we've done. And that was a very simple thing. But to me, it's super important. Culture can also be taught. I have a rule. I never let a kid's head hit the floor. I tell them, Cameron, when do I tell a kid their head's allowed to hit the floor?
When they go to sleep at night?
When their head is on their pillow. It's the only safe place your head's allowed to be, on the ground. Because if you're laying anywhere in a public space with your head on the ground, if someone falls, your brain absorbs all the energy. Well, the number one thing you want to protect is your brain. Cut my arm off, my body still operates. My brain, you let this thing go to mush, okay, you might as well pull the plug. They haven't solved that yet. Elon's working on it. They haven't solved that yet. So how can your product be better today, not tomorrow? How can your product be better today? Because if you only have 140 students, does anybody here have more than 500 members in one school? Anybody have more than 500? Like that would be a successful martial arts school. 1,800 square foot with 500 members. Did anybody just go, well, that's not possible? Did anybody say you can't have 1,800 square foot and 500 members? Anybody think about that? But guess what? Let me ask this. Brett or Michael or Dan, any of you guys who have to write the check for the lease, do you guys pay the lease 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, or 7 days a week? How many days a week are you paying a lease payment? At 2 a.m., is a lease free? At 2 p.m., is it the same money as 2 a.m.? You're paying the lease for 31 days in a month or 365 in a year, but you think you can't make money on Sunday. See, guys, Chick-fil-A is one of the only companies to never have a down year, and everybody thinks they close on Sunday for religious reasons. You guys know it's not for religious reasons. Are they a religious company? Yes. They did not close on Sundays for religious reasons. Do your research. They closed on Sundays because they had a bandwidth problem. They had an infrastructure problem early in their operational experience. And so they closed on Sundays so they could actually get product and get things in order and get things prepared to go so they could be ready for business on Monday, not for religious reasons. And then they found out they still made the same amount of money And so they just kept with it. Do you think they would make more money if they opened on Sunday? I'm sure they would. Okay. But they built this in their company and their infrastructure, and they just stuck with it. Why are you not open for Sundays? Is it religious reasons? That's your personal choice. But I do know there's a lot of markets, guys, that Sunday is not the religious day, it's Saturday. Some places, Saturday is the Sabbath, not Sunday. But you're open on Saturdays. Karate tournaments are on Saturdays. You're in the karate business. So, like, why would you not have 500 members and 1,800 square foot? It's because you're pigeonholing yourself to a schedule based on what everyone else has done. If you have anything less than that, you have to ask yourself this question. Brett is a very seasoned martial artist. And I will tell you this, if you ever get to see Brett compete in martial arts, Brett is not 22 years old, but he can hang with a 22-year-old. He can. All right. Before I even was working with Brett, when I just knew of him, all right, thought he was a different person because I thought his name was different than his last name. I never, and I say that very strongly, I never heard anyone say anything negative about him, his work ethic, his martial arts, ever. To this day, never. Before I even knew who he was, I only heard people speak of him in high regard. In the martial arts community, that's pretty hard. For 100% of the people that I've ever talked to about this man, I've only heard positive things. And he's not a young spring chicken anymore. He's still young, but he can compete with the best in the world still to this day. Now, a man who's had nobody speak negative about him, does he have detractors? Of course, everybody does. But in a community that's built on ego, I have never had anybody say anything negative about him ever. He is a great talent physically. He's a beautiful communicator, great educator, becoming a pretty damn good, awesome business person. Why does he not have 500 members? Why are people not flocking, busting down the door to have their kids close in proximity to a man who is really what, honestly, any father and mother would want their kids to grow up and become? That's the question you should be asking yourself, guys. Why is that? Why do we have to market and spend money and advertise so hard when we have someone like a Brett, great talent, communicator, platform, process? What's missing? There is something missing. And I can give you about 5 or 6 things that could be missing, but the real answer is you need to do some self-reflection and ask yourself that question. So how do you become better today? How do you walk on the floor today and get better? That should be a question you ask yourself every day. Now, since Brett's on the call and I'm talking about him, I'll let him answer for himself. Brett, why don't you have 500 members at your school? Have you ever asked yourself these questions, by the way? As he finds the button to unmute. He's coming. He's coming. Somewhere is the button.
Thank you. I don't know. Don't know why I don't have 500 members.
Okay, pause,
Follow-up, maybe?
Pause for a second. Guys, he just said, I don't know. That's okay to say that. If a parent asks you a question, this is a good thing for you to learn to teach your people there, Brett. If a parent comes ask me, the teacher, and I worked for you, and they ask me a question, a lot of times people are afraid to say, I don't know, so they answer something that's probably not fully accurate, which then harms them in the future, right? It's a white lie, maybe, or maybe that's the best answer they come up with. It's okay to tell someone, I don't know. With the exception, there's something you're supposed to say after that. Does anybody know what you're supposed to say after you say, I don't know? Go ahead, Crystal. Tell me, Crystal.
I'll find out.
I don't know. Not but. Don't use the word but. I don't know. Anybody know the word you're supposed to say?
And?
And. Because words matter. I'm learning to use my words better. Better is better. I don't know yet. You could say yet. I don't know yet. And I'll go research and find out and report back to you. Because if you say the word but, I don't know, but, then you just negated the I don't know. It doesn't matter anymore. You shouldn't even said that. So, hey, I don't know yet. And I'll go find out and get back to you. And follow up. That's right. Okay. And actually do follow up. And so I cheat the code by putting a reminder in my phone. Follow up with Aaron tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Boom, hit a reminder in 2 hours before. I had to go cheat the code. All right. So now, Brett, stay with me. You're still role playing with me. So Brett, why don't you have 500 members?
I don't know. I'll find out.
All right, now stay with me. Did I say anything that was untrue about you a minute ago?
I think there's people that said some bad things about me, but just not to you.
That's not to me. Okay. All right. Well, accurate. I'm sure we all have detractors. Are you a great teacher?
Yes, sir.
Are you a great martial artist?
Yes, sir.
Are you passionate about martial arts?
Yes, sir.
You're passionate about improving people's lives.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe you're good for kids?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe if a dad had a choice between putting his kid in the Taekwondo school down the street or your school, that if he chooses your school, he made the right decision?
1000%.
So why don't you have 500 people? I'm telling you guys, this is the introspection we should ask ourselves. Are there 500 kids that could take your school class at your school? Do they live in proximity? Do you have 500 kids that live in proximity close enough to come to your school?
Yes.
Are there 5,000 kids maybe?
Yeah.
So here's some answers maybe for you to think about. Do you teach every class at your school?
No.
So maybe your staff's not good enough. And if your staff's not good enough, who's training your staff?
I am.
So maybe you're great at if it was you doing everything. Was it not different than if you removed yourself? Because if I teach you how to run your business or your martial arts school, Cameron can come say the exact same things I say, but for whatever reason, you might listen differently to me than you do to him, even if it's the same information. True or not true?
Mhm. True.
Are there some kids that will listen to you better than they listen to one of the other instructors?
Yes, sir.
Are there some kids that will listen to you better than they listen to their own dad,
Yes, sir.
even if it's the same information? So one, if you're not teaching every class, the first thing everybody here should think about is, how do I get my staff better today? So how could you, who's teaching classes today, for example?
He just called out sick, so it's probably going to be Dominic.
Okay. So if he's teaching class today on a 1 to 10 scale, that's him behind you, right?
Yes, sir.
On a 1 to 10 scale, he's present. Don't blow smoke. Be honest. Be sincere. If 10 was the best teacher you've ever seen in real life, whether you personally know the person, took the class, or you watched, it doesn't matter. 10 is the absolute world's best. 1 is so bad you'd rather watch a class on YouTube and send your kids there. How good of an instructor is he on a 1 to 10 scale based on those numbers?
7.5.
Wow. So he's better than
He's
Cameron.
good.
Good job. Okay. I would have given Cameron a 4 on that scale. So if he's 7.5, he's pretty world class. It's awesome. Okay. The instructor that called out, he or she,
He.
7.5 or lower?
Oh, lower. Much lower.
Is that your main teacher?
He's getting there. He's getting there. Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I'm paying you $200, $250 a month, $300 a month, $5,000 a year, how do you make sure that 7.5 is the lowest number you'd ever put in front of a kid, of a parent that's paying that kind of money? How would you start that tonight? How do you get your less than 7.5 people to a 7.5 minimum? That's your standard minimum scores. That's 75 percentile. I think it's failing in most schools, maybe. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been in school. If I made a 75 on a test, do I pass or fail?
I think you pass in Missouri.
You're average. You pass for average.
Oof, man, I hate, that's a cuss word for me. I got chills. That's like, somebody cussed at me. Somebody just cussed at me right now. They called me average and they cussed at me. God, get that out of me. Oof, it's got chills. Who wants to be fucking average? Like if I was at the bar last night talking to some girl, do I talk to an average girl? Do I talk to an average girl? Like, I don't think so. So what would be your minimum passing standard? Like whatever analogy you want to put to it. Like, would you call your kid a 7.5? Look, I'm so proud of Jackson. He had to go first out of 3 kids on stage at US Open. There are so many kids that would just wet the bed with that opportunity. And he put in every trick he could. I think he's got the best combos on the NASCAR circuit right now. I mean, I really do. I don't think there's another kid or adult. He does harder stuff than Haley Glass. Okay. And he ain't perfect yet, but his tricks with his combos. I mean, he had 4 blind releases and caught them all. Triple spin at the end. Okay. Commas are hard. Look, I've done every weapon out there, and commas my first weapon. Then I did bow. I've done sword, double sword. I've done like weapons were my thing. Double sword's hard because it's heavy and difficult because of the handles, but commas are light. And to spin them as fast as he spins them, blind catch after blind catch on a stage that big, and to be hard and strong, because I pride myself on making sure my students were hit with power. Okay. He had one little mess up on his first trick. Didn't mess with his head. That's 12 years of 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. Right? That's powerful to be able to have that skill. What if that was your standard that you were rising towards every student towards? You just said that was your bar. That's the minimum. That was my minimum, not my maximum. See, most people see something like that and that's their max. What if your minimum was no one steps on this floor to teach a kid unless they're at least 80% as good as me? That's my standard. They've got to be 80% as good as me. Otherwise, I don't put them in front of my customers. These are customers. Is this not your livelihood? Well, you can't teach every class if you're going to have 7 schools or 12 schools. So the question is, how do you get that done tonight? That's the question, everybody on this call. If you're not making the money, if your school's not getting bigger in influence, bigger in student body, it's because your product is not improving every single day. And if it is improving, it's not improving fast enough, big enough, where people are visual to it. So Brett, those would be the questions I'd be asking myself 7 days a week. And that's just not you, that's everybody on this call. You deserve a bigger audience. Like Brett, honestly, like Travis, like anybody, Michael Reed, anybody who's been passionate, hard work and dedication of decades of work, and you guys don't have 6.1 million followers on Instagram. A pastor of a church can have 6.1 million followers. Don't you impact lives just like a pastor? Maybe sometimes better. I go to church 1 day a week. I can go to martial arts 6 days a week. And it's not knocking your guys. So like, don't everybody who's like, oh, I'm better than 7'5". That's small thinking. You should actually listen. He's what, 21? Don's what, 21? What, young guy? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing is, if I was fortunate enough to work for someone like Brett right now, and I didn't let my small ego get in the way, and I'm not saying this derogatory, guys, because I've been a 21-year-old punk at some point in my life too. Okay. The fact that you have someone that even lets you listen to stuff like this, most owners of any company USA do not think education is that important. They want you to get your paycheck, do your job, get your ass home. If I was 21 and my employer said I was a 7'5", not an 8, not an 8'5", I could get, well, I'm going to show you, I'm going to, and maybe that works for a week or a month. Maybe you even get motivated for a year because you got a chip on your shoulder. Or if you actually can be wise beyond your years, you say, you know what? Damn, you see some potential in me. Hey, Brett. Hey, boss. Mr. T. Man, what would it take for me to be an 8.5 here? How would it improve not my life? How would it improve not your life? How would it improve these kids' lives that I'm teaching if I was an 8.5 or 9? Because I know if I do that, money will flow, influence will flow, everything else I want. But when you try to think about money first, you won't ever get there. What if you forget about you, and you forget about your boss, and you forget about everything other than if I just improve by 10, 20%, 5%? How much better would these kids be? How much influence will I have over those kids? That's the question you guys should be asking yourself, whether you're the employee or the employer. But y'all don't, because you're chasing the money, because you're stressed. And who's stressed about money on this call right now besides me? Guys, right now, my financial nut a month that I have to hit minimum to pay my bills is a number that I used to think if I could just make that in a year, I would be successful. And now it's my monthly requirement to pay my bills, not to have money. Okay. Crystal's got more money in the bank than I do, for sure. Okay. For sure. I've got 5 houses where my smallest mortgage payment is $6,900. That's the smallest. My biggest is $12,000. Mortgage payments. Times 5. Now, those are investments. There's some upside, obviously, otherwise you don't do it. But those are still responsibilities you got to pay. So if you got money stress, it's because none of us here are good enough yet. I'm not good enough yet. I need to be better. Educator, influencer, communicator, lover, friend, student. I got to be better. So if you're an employer and you don't have 500 members in a martial arts school, there's something missing. Because there's 500 people in a church, 5,000 people in a church every Sunday. And this is an influence game. Okay. All right. I'm gonna shift here. T Money, are you here, boss? Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
I'm gonna get us up here together. Friday at 5 o'clock, we're gonna send out a link, and I'm gonna do a webinar. Let's see. Bam. I think we both good. I like that. And I'm going to talk about sales and marketing, and I'm going to give a little bit of content right here, right now during this process. Okay. That being said, August 10th and 11th, Cameron, where's Cameron 2? Where's Cameron 2? Hold on, see if I can do this too.
Present.
Bam, here's Cameron. Cameron, go through some of the topics. I'm going to cover a couple with T Money real quick. And Travis, we'll go about 10 minutes fast paced on this, then we'll finish the call today. But Cameron, give me a couple of topics that we were talking about on the call before this we're going to cover in August. Guys,
Yeah.
I should write this stuff down. This is what we're going to cover. I'm teaching this, and if you're in the building, you're going to be required to be in a gi and on the floor. I don't care if you're 7, 17, 27, 77, 177. You're in a freaking gi, putting on a white belt, pink belt, black belt. I don't care. If you don't have a gi, order one today. If you haven't registered for this event with t-shirt size, we need that ASAP. Okay, we'll send those links out to you guys. And Sunday night, special VIP treatment. Some of you guys have been selected. If you don't know if you're on that list or not, please hit me up. Please hit me up. And then Monday morning, special VIP mastermind just with me. But I'm teaching these courses. Travis will be there. Albert will be there. Cameron will be there. They'll be supporting me, teaching with me. We'll have breakout sessions. I need help. I want, Michael Reed's on the call, I believe. I want 100 people on the mat. I want it to be physically impossible to have 100 people on the floor, and I'll still do it. If you see my post, it says it's not limited. Everybody said limited time, limited seating, limited. No, this is unlimited. I will oversell. I would like to have 1,000 people. Michael Reed, can I have 100 people in there? I don't care if I can or not. We'll find a way, right? We'll find a way. Michael Reed's reaching out to one of my buddies, a guy named Work Done. Anybody knows who Work Done is? We're trying to get Work Done to show up because I want to demonstrate to him, because he builds homes still in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, Work Done made one of the best deals of all time. Michael, here's what I was going to tell you. I want Work Done to tell us the story of what he made was the best deal of his life. Anybody know the best deal of his life? Anybody know this story? His last contract with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I'm not sure if he saw as a record, but he used to have the record for most yardage as a running back. Okay, Work Done, solid human being, man. His last contract, he was going to get $5 million signing bonus. He told Arthur Blank, keep your $5 million. Keep your $5 million, Arthur. I want 1% of the team. At the time, $5 million was worth 1%. He did not get the $5 million. He got the 1%. The team just got an evaluation last year at $4.6 billion. Hey Siri, what's 1% of $4.6 billion?
1% times 4,600,000,000 is 46 million.
He turned $5 million.
Nice theory that just answered you.
That's pretty crazy. Good job, Siri. He turned a $5 million check one time to an asset worth 50 million roughly. Does anybody think that's going to go up in value or down in value? Smart man. All right. Just go through those topics, Cameron. Tell me what some of those topics are.
Yeah, so we got lead generation, conversion, retention, maximizing your sale opportunities, effective classroom
Hey.
management.
Slow down. I want to talk about what I said on the call at 1 o'clock today. Only those things.
Mass upgrade.
I'm going to go over how to properly do a group seminar series with an ask to close a deal. I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. I'm going to show you, not tell you, how to do it the right way. And I've never, 0 times, ever, never, ever, on a day that's never, just like P. Diddy himself, never got a 0. I've always made 5 figures minimum on my mass upgrades. Okay, next topic. Let's roll.
Promotional booths.
I'm going to show you how to do a proper school is starting in August, baby, and how to do the right style
Hi, ma'am.
orientation promo booth when you have back to school season time. Okay, next one.
Better product, better service.
I'm gonna show you how to have a better product on the floor. I'm gonna be punching some people and slapping some people with love and care and kindness. What else we got? What else did I say about the 1 o'clock call?
That was it for the 1 o'clock, but
Yeah.
you've got more that's on there. I mean,
I
you
know,
got
but I'm just saying that was stuff at 1. And then now, because I'm setting T Money up, T Money and I are going to talk about 2 things right now. 5 o'clock on Friday, PM Eastern time. I'm going to do some teaching on this now. But go ahead. Let's start that conversation, Travis.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool. So Aaron and I had a conversation earlier today, and in all transparency, my studio in Brunswick, I'm a little removed from it, 800 miles away. And the last 4 or 5 months, I believe we haven't hit waterline. And so that business is struggling a little bit. We've gone through the savings that we've had for that business. So we're basically paycheck to paycheck right now in that studio. And we were talking about, how do we turn things around quick? How do we take advantage of what we got inside the school? And how do we get it back to where it's at? It's down to about $8,000 in AR from where we were at 16 6 months ago. And so what do we do? What's the action plan?
Okay. So part of the reason why I wanted Travis to say this is, look, guys, all of us have the same problems. And Travis physically removing himself, the energy, the ball of fire, the source of the traction in that location. There's a reason why Dover, boom, spike took off. Yes, Crystal's there. Great. But I think Crystal was there when you got the school. Like she came with it. Like he purchased Crystal and the school. Right. And it's been a benefit for the school, but it's been a benefit for Crystal, and it's been a benefit for Travis. But he's the energy there. He's got his wife, he's got his kids, he's got his family. Well, he had that in Brunswick, and all of a sudden, you take the ball of fire away. Okay, you take the blue dragon away. He's got a different flame going on, and the energy is changing. By the way, it's still the same guy there. Don's still the man. What's different? A couple things that are different is this. If you don't have a standard, guys, always or nevers. And unfortunately, in an industry like this, we get very close with our team. And I would assume that Travis believes Donovan is family. And just like Cameron's family. Okay. And sometimes we treat family improperly. We assume, we take it for granted, we don't push, and we don't fire. So like you might think I joke when I say I'm got to be willing to fire my mom, but the reality is the business, it's got to be more valuable than the person sometimes, because the business is not one person. Just like in the country of America, if we go to war, if I'm not willing to give my life for something I believe, a belief, if I don't have something that I'm gonna have something worth, giving my life for, am I fit to live? And so sometimes we don't really treat the people inside our business. Like I'm sure Travis and Crystal have become close. She's probably become family now. The reality is it's still a job. There's still a business, and the business has got to live beyond Travis. It's got to live beyond Crystal. Otherwise it's not something sustainable. It's not real. So you have to have some practices in place. And our practice in place is this, guys. When a business doesn't hit its targets in the month, everybody in that company gets a yellow card. Okay, warning, warning, flashing light, warning. And what happens is January, not a good month. February 1, everyone gets a warning light. We have a meeting. We have a deep dive into what went right, what went wrong, where we're going to improve. And we all take personal accountability of how we're going to fix it that month. We create a sense of urgency. On month 2, we do not hit our target waterline. Then it's a red card. A red card is this. If you do not hit that line on month 3, it's immediate termination. Now, how many months in a row did you not hit that target at that school? 4 months. 5 months. So that means he would have had to release his team, which his team is family. And that's a hard, difficult moment. So what happens is by not having the standard, you let things go on longer, because if this was team member A, B, or C and not someone he considers family, the person would have been yellow card. They would have gone hardcore. Everybody take personal responsibility. And if they did not improve for whatever reason, month 3 would have been do or die. And if you don't hit the line, you're terminated. And if you do, you don't get a bonus because we're 2 months in the negative. And so you're just fighting to keep your spot on the team. And then what happens is, as the owner, on the red card day, anybody know what you're supposed to do on red card day? Travis, what are you supposed to do on red card day? So it's the 3rd month. We're going into the 3rd month. We've had a yellow card. It means 1 month we didn't hit our line. Month 2, we worked on it. We systemized. We went through it. We got balloons flying everywhere, and we didn't hit it. So month 3, on March 1st, going into the 3rd month, I red card everybody. They know they got 31 days, do or die. No bonus is going to be paid even if we hit $2 million. Doesn't matter. We got to make up, but it's do or die. As soon as I give the red card out and we have that meeting, they know what's coming, obviously. What do I immediately do as the owner of that company? Anybody know?
Not sure.
I immediately start hiring hardcore. Because what's going to happen is I put those people in transition, which means I'm gonna say, Travis, I work with Travis. He gives me that red card. He's going to find out that day, am I team Travis, or I am team resign myself to the lowest denominator version of myself, which is screw this. I don't need this anymore. I'll go find a job somewhere else. And I might not say that to him, but if I know if I didn't hit it in month 1, month 2, and I think I'm trying my hardest, and I go, well, I can't, no, or what he says, it's not real. I can't do this. If I'm mentally thinking that, then I'm already self-defeated, which means I'm not going to hit that target. And Travis doesn't need to wait till into month 3 for me to be replaced. He needs to already be looking for that replacement. I need to feel that heat, and he'll find out, because the average person, that's a cuss word, the average person is going to resign in that first 7 days. They might not resign with a piece of paper or with their mouth. Their actions are going to show they resign. Everybody with me? Now, that doesn't solve your personal revenue problem right now. What it does, though, is it protects you from having this problem again in the future. And why pay the price of 5 months? You paid a tax for 5 months. Why pay that tax if you don't learn a lesson? Okay. So how do I fix the revenue problem? Well, 1, the product's got to be better. You're being told your product's not good enough. One of the things we're going to teach, I'm not going to do it today. One of the things I'm going to teach in August will be how to properly do a private lesson. Travis, I didn't ask this question earlier. Have you ever actually taught, not told, taught, shown, demonstrated Donovan how to do a proper private lesson?
No, sir.
Did anybody ever teach you how to properly do a private lesson?
No, sir.
So if you have one of the most successful schools in the country in Delaware, and nobody even knows where that's at, by the way, I think it's a state. If you have one of the most successful schools in the country and no one taught you and you didn't teach your main guy, how many people on this call right now probably have never been taught to do a private lesson? Probably all have never been taught properly. And then they always ask this crazy question. All the owners are like, how do I incentivize my staff to do these private lessons and pay them extra? That means they even have a bad pay structure to start with because they don't have an alignment of a team goal. So that'll be something we cover in August. Okay, Cameron, make sure you write this down because I'm over promise and over deliver. I have 8 hours to give 80 hours worth of content. I got 8 hours to give 80 hours. You want to hear something really badass and cool? we're documentizing, videotizing, if that is even a word, and testing. You'll have testing. All this content will be chopped in videos. Cameron's already got, I don't know how many hours of content are recorded, and be chopped in small sections, and your staff will take tests on it to move to the next session. We'll have this ready to go in August. Okay. We're going to create a virtual digital library that will live forever because we'll keep updating it, and you'll be able to onboard. Okay. Yeah, he's already sharp 4 hours in the past week of content. All right. So that's another lesson for another day about the private lessons. With that being said, you're being told the product's not good enough. So the product's got to improve. If he's not an 8, he's got to get 8. If you're not hot enough to be an 8, you got to get hot. Okay. How do you get hot? Right? Like go to the gym, eat better. Right? Well, how do you do that in a business? Cut the fluff, get more intentional, just get better. Next is you look at your appointment calendar. Your appointment calendar is the lifeblood of the business. It is the predictor of success. And you have to change the thinking a little bit. 50K a month should be the standard, not the minimum or the maximum. It should be just like, we're gonna do that regardless. You got to start. And Travis, you know, this is, I would assume like, oh, we're gonna hit 50, like in North Dakota, like 50K, whatever. Let's set the goal for 100. Like 50 is gonna happen. And our billing wasn't but like 19 or 20. And like in my mind, 50 is a given. It's impossible not to hit 50. So one is just programming yourself. The next is asking those questions is like, all right, what if? What would it take? What would it take if we had no billing to get 50K the first month? My last location to open in Tennessee, martial arts school, we did $47,000 the first 30 days. And the person running the school was not a black belt. And we had a junior instructor teaching. And we did $47,000. How? Intentionality. Didn't sign up a lot of people, but we had big offers, big asks because we knew how to hit the value button fast. So if I have 4 appointments today and 2 tomorrow, I need to go ahead and take those 2, stack my day up, and I need to have 6 people walk in the day, and I need to have 6 offers ready to go. Because I know 6 people don't show up. I think I'll have 4 show up of the 6. And I'm gonna give written offers. I'm probably gonna close 1. But my offers got to be, I've got to be able to show enough value within a 30-minute block, 45-minute block that people make a buying decision on the spot. And my salesperson has to be great enough to not put the pressure on people. I don't need to make the pressure be like, Travis, you got to make the decision right now. And if you do it, I'll discount it down. I don't need a discount. I need to create more value. I need to create better product. I need to create better service. And then I've got to be ready to do this. Right? I get you. You guys know this stuff, which is where you got to role play with your team to get them better. Right? I've greeted you. I fact found. I demonstrated you the product based on the fact finding. And then I get the fact that I'm done with the presentation, the demonstration, and I say, hey, Travis, have you seen enough to make a decision? I get the yes. Okay, have you seen enough to make a decision today? I get a yes. Great. Are you okay with me going and presenting you now what we have to get Billy or Johnny, into the program? I get a yes. I make sure I go through a process. Okay. Hey, is there any reason why you wouldn't do this now? Just like when I'm fact finding, this is a powerful question, Travis. This is something to remind our team. Hey, Travis, why are you thinking about putting your son in martial arts now? Or why are you thinking about putting your son in martial arts? And then I'll listen. And whether I need to write it down, it's like a survey at a restaurant. Some of them, like, there's 8 people at their table and they give all 8 people, and you're like, how are they going to get that right? Experience. And there's somebody with 3 people at the table. Like, I got to write this down. Experience. It's okay. It's okay to say, hey, look, I'm still learning. Hey, you okay if I write down some of the stuff so I'm learning? Tell them, own it. Hey, Travis, why are you thinking about putting your son in martial arts? Okay. Hey, Travis, those are great reasons, but why now? And the reason why that question is so important is because he says, hey, I want my son to have better focus. Oh, okay, yeah, martial arts is great for that. Hey, yeah, but Travis, why does he need better focus now? Oh man, because I really want to get to play baseball because I love baseball more than anything in life, and I heard martial arts can help him have better hand-eye coordination, have better focus, so he can be a better ball player. Oh, okay. When does ball start? 3 weeks. Oh, right. It helps me ask the questions because there's a reason why someone walks in your door now. I call Travis up. Hey, Travis. Travis owns a pest company. Hey, Travis, you guys spray for roaches? Yeah, we do that. Great. And he doesn't take control of the conversation. He lets the potential customer be in control. Look at that thumbs up coming. Why would I call a pest company up to spray for roaches? Anybody want to know the answer to that? Because I probably found some damn roaches in my house. These are questions that we all should ask, okay? All right. So Travis, unmute yourself, baby. Does Donovan, he's the leader of that school. Does he have a financial target by the day?
Yes, sir.
He sets it, you set it.
He said the last couple.
Okay. What's his revenue target for today?
What was it, DD?
No, sorry. My revenue target for the day, I just have it broke down from the week. It's $13,058.
Is that for the day or for the week?
That's for the week.
Okay, so I asked Travis if he had a revenue target for the day. He said yes, and you told me you don't. So there's a little issue there. Would we agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next question is, because I already know the answer to this one, by the way. Do you have it broken down by hour? Because
No, sir.
you're not open 24 hours, correct?
No,
Are
sir.
you Waffle House?
Not Waffle House.
Bro, I'll tell you, they make some money, man. You ever been to Waffle House at 3 in the morning? They're making some money. How many hours are you actually in operation of business today? 6, 7?
Yes, sir. Like from school opening from 3 to 9.
Are people inside the school at 3 o'clock today?
No, sir. You don't get here until 3:45.
Yeah. So you're not making money at 3 o'clock, are you? Could you?
Yes, sir.
So everybody listening to this call that's on here. And by the way, we have about 60 people who should be on this call, and there's 12. I know there's a few others because some of you guys are sharing cameras. But that tells you the other 48 people who are not on this call there's a reason why they're not hitting their target. There's a reason why these owners text Cameron or me and freak out. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm gonna look real quick. I'm gonna call somebody out because I'm gonna see if he's on here. Hey, Cameron, you're still here, right? There's a guy who hits me up, Cameron. Every time I talk to this guy, he's like, can Travis start doing these calls with us again? Because those 11 o'clock calls were great. I'm like, yeah, they were great. I says, but the problem is the same people are showing up and they didn't learn. They were wanting Travis to wipe their butt, do the work for them. Guess what? That guy's not on this call. Is this call not valuable? And what do you think he's doing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Probably not moving the company forward because he's in the same position he was 6 years ago, 6 days ago, 6 months ago, and he probably will still be there 6 days in the future, 6 months in the future, 6 years in the future. See, education is not the expense. The expense you pay is not executing. Right. And so here's the thing is, Donovan doesn't have a daily target, which means he doesn't know how much to actually pitch today. And he doesn't have broken down by hour he's opening. So he doesn't know when he's behind or not. I know if I'm the Atlanta Falcons and I'm playing the New Orleans Saints and I look at the score at halftime, it's 27-24 and I'm down by 3. Well, I know that I cannot score just 3 points to win that game because I'm the Falcons. I got to score 72 and pray that I still win because they like giving up leads at the end of the games. So if my goal was $7,000 today and I got 2 hours left in the day, I don't need to pitch somebody $700 because the only way to win the week is I got to win the day. The only way to win the day is win the hour. I know it seems simple, but you're not doing it. But I bet you teach goal setting. I bet there's a dad who thinks you are the shit teaching their kid how to be disciplined, focused, and awesome at goal setting, but then we're not really applying it in our own personal life. I'll tell you one more thing and I'll finish the call. I know I was at my personal best in business when I had a demon to kill, an animal, a goal, a target. It didn't have to be a business goal. When I was training for competitions and I was really focused, my classes were better. You know why? I was inspired and motivated, encouraged. When I'm losing weight and getting in better shape, my energy is off the charts. My conversations are great. When I speak to my mentors, when I have victories and defeats, and I'm required to become a better man, I'm a better teacher. So if you become complacent or disengaged, it shows up in your business, and your business will tell you you're not winning because there's product's not good. So I would first think about this, Don. Maybe you don't have that big scary animal you're trying to kill right now. You don't have that thing to slay. And so your business is reflecting that. When a guy and a girl break up, they go in transition. Guy goes to the gym, he's getting in shape. Girls like, you know, wearing better makeup and clothing, and she's getting in better shape. And you know, why don't you just do that when you're together? You ever think about that? Like, why does it take you wanting to get back at somebody and then go show them? Why not actually love yourself enough to actually put yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually in the best position, so you actually can just be the person that you want other people to see in you? Why do you have to go do that after you break up with somebody, to go prove somebody you lost a good man, you lost a good woman? Let me show you. You know what? How about show yourself while you're in the relationship? So when you're in the job, don't get pissed off at the job and go quit and get pissed off, or get fired and get pissed off, and you get motivated. And, I'm going to show that person. How about show that person all the time, because you just want to be that person? So if you don't have something big you're going after right now, you're not inspired. And if you're not inspired, you're not inspiring. And the martial arts industry is such emotional driven. Brett doesn't have 500 members because he ain't the guy on the floor. And he's got to find a way to transfer the energy to his 7'5" guy, and his one guy that called out sick already today, that's probably a 4. And if you're 21, you don't have something big you're trying to kill. And it could be simple, guys. It could be you're trying to get the hot girl at the bar to get attention. Right? And whatever that version is, I'm just using that as an analogy. It could be the car you want to buy, the house you want to buy, the boat you want to buy, the body you want, the people you want to attract. I reached out to Conor McGregor with 3 different channels yesterday. I don't know if he saw it or not, but I'm going to keep hitting him up. I'm going to get his attention. Okay? Because I got a pitch for him, and I shot my pitch 3 different times. I don't know who saw it. Somebody saw it. I don't know if he runs his own social media or not, but I'm going to get in front of him because I got something valuable, and I need him more than he needs me. And he says, no, I'm going to go to the next big player. I already reached out to who I think is a big player. I don't start at the bottom of the food chain, guys. I go to the top. Because what if I get the yes? I don't want the yes from Donovan. I love you, Donovan. I want the yes from Connor. So if you don't have that big thing you're going after right now, you got your goals way too small. Elon Musk yesterday, and I will finish with this. Thanks for your time, guys. Elon Musk was being interviewed. You'll probably see it if you haven't seen the reel. Hey, you're worth $200-something billion. You're considered one of the richest men, if not the richest man in the world. How does that make you feel? What do you think? He's like, oh, I'm not the richest. Putin's way wealthier than me. What? You really think so? His answer is like, yeah, you're not wealthy unless you can control armies and have a legion. So he might have a bunch of money in the bank somewhere. It's just a digital number on the screen. Putin's got his finger on something really big and powerful. So wealth is measured differently. Maybe your goals are just too small and you're chasing the wrong thing, and so you're not inspired. And if you're not inspired, why does anybody want to flow money to you? So go find something to kill big. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Awesome, manana. Thanks for your time. Bye, guys.